All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're tackling a question I know a lot of you are thinking about. How can you get all the awesome features of ChatGPT Plus, but without that monthly price tag? Well, the answer isn't exactly a simple yes or no. It's complicated. So let's break it all down.
You know the feeling, right? You've seen what GPT-4 can do. You're dreaming of that priority access and those super fast responses. But then you see the monthly subscription fee, and you kind of hesitate. If that's you, trust me, you are not alone. Yep, there's the number, $20 a month. Now for students, or maybe freelancers, even for small teams trying to get started, that cost can really start to add up. And that's exactly why so many people start hunting for, let's say, creative ways to split the bill. So the first thing that pops into your head is probably, hey, why don't I just share an account with a few friends or my team? I mean, it seems like the most obvious, simple solution. But there's a pretty big catch. And this right here, this is the whole reason people are so eager to share in the first place. We're not just talking about a minor upgrade. It's a huge leap, right? You go from the free version, which can be kind of slow and sometimes locks you out during busy hours, to the powerhouse GPT-4 model with priority access. For anyone who actually relies on this for work or school, that jump in performance, it's a total game changer. Okay, so that brings us to the million-dollar question. With all these amazing benefits on the line, can you actually share an account? Let's see what the official rules have to say. And the official answer is a big, clear no. OpenAI's terms of service are super explicit about this. They flat out prohibit sharing an account. This is the fundamental risk you have to understand before you even think about trying any workarounds. So what happens if you just decide to ignore the rules and pass your password around? Well, the risks are pretty serious. We're talking about anything from getting your entire account suspended or even banned for good. But it's not just that. There are major security threats too, like your password getting leaked or your personal data being compromised. And that's especially true if you're thinking about jumping into one of those group buys with strangers. Okay, so just handing out your password is clearly a bad idea. But the source material we're looking at today poses a really interesting question. What if technology itself could solve the very problems that make sharing so dangerous? This is where we get into the idea of a much smarter, much safer way to do this. And the key to this whole thing, according to our source, is a special tool called an anti-detect browser. Now, think of this thing like a digital disguise. Normally, if multiple people log in from different computers in different locations, that sets off huge red flags for a service like OpenAI. But this browser, it makes every single session look like it's coming from one single, consistent user. It completely masks those digital footprints. So, how does this tech actually work? Let's start with the most important part, locking down the accounts and making sure your login info doesn't end up where it shouldn't. First off, it all starts with a password manager that's built right in. This lets your team members log in without ever actually seeing the password. The account owner keeps total control. Then you add more layers of security, like telling the browser not to save or autofill the password, and automatically blocking any snooping tools that might try to grab your data as you log in. And that control doesn't just stop at the login screen. Once someone is in, you can actually lock down what they can and can't do. For example, you can block the developer tools, which stops any tech-savvy users from poking around in sensitive session data. And you can even whitelist websites so they can only access ChatGPT and nothing else. This stops them from installing sketchy browser extensions that could hijack the account. You're basically building a secure little bubble for the shared account to live inside. Okay, so security is one piece of the puzzle. But what about the day-to-day logistics of actually managing a team? The next big hurdle is figuring out how to handle multiple people needing access, maybe even all at the same time. I mean, this has to be the single biggest frustration with old-school account sharing, right? You log in, you're ready to get some work done, and bam, you've been kicked out because your teammate just logged in on their computer. It's a complete deal breaker for any kind of real collaboration. But with this method, the answer is yes. Everyone can be logged in at once. And it's all thanks to a specific feature called multi-open mode. It's a tech solution designed to fix this exact headache, letting everyone work in parallel without getting in each other's way. So here's the magic behind it. First, you enable that multi-open feature. Then, and this part is absolutely crucial, you use what's called a static proxy. This clever trick makes it look like everyone is logging in from the exact same place so you don't raise any suspicion. And finally, all the login data is synced, so once you're in, your team can get access seamlessly without ever needing the password again.
But it's not just about access, it's about control. The system our source describes gives the account owner this incredible level of administrative power. You can assign different roles like admin or staff, you can set access to automatically expire after a certain time, and you can even keep detailed logs of who's logging in and what they're doing. It's basically a full-blown management toolkit for whoever is in charge of the account. All right, we've covered a lot of ground here. The risks, the official rules, and a pretty deep dive into the technology designed to get around them. So let's bring it all together and summarize the key takeaways. This table really lays it all out perfectly. On one side, you've got your traditional sharing, just passing a password around. That means low security, a super high risk of getting banned, no way to use it at the same time, and absolutely zero control. But on the other side, with the smart sharing method we've been talking about, it's the complete opposite. High security, low risk, simultaneous use, and full control. The difference is just night and day. So here's the bottom line. OpenAI's rules are crystal clear. Sharing is a no-go. But it's also clear that there's this technological cat and mouse game happening, with some really sophisticated tools popping up that are built specifically to manage those risks and make unofficial sharing a whole lot safer. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. The fact that these complex workarounds even exist points to a massive demand for people to use these tools collaboratively. So it really makes you wonder, should companies like OpenAI lean into this? Should they start building official, affordable team sharing features directly into their consumer plans? It's definitely something to think about as AI becomes more and more a part of our daily work.